Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. This one is for Monday the 21st of November going through until Sunday the 27th of November 2022. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to go through each day this week to see what the planets are doing and how that's going to influence you this week. Before I look at the details though, I have to say this looks like an amazing week. You're super optimistic, you're enthusiastic, you can see value in things which normally may strike you as mediocre or uninteresting. So you really bring a lot to the table here. And the big value as such, the big gift and benefit of this week is that you're on top of your game. So you can really turn any situation into something that works even more effectively for you specifically. So you have a lot of control in that. So looking at Monday, the 21st of November, we've got the moon in Libra. The moon is what you feel. Libra is an air sign. And interestingly, or famously, it's the only sign of the zodiac that's not a living thing, right? It's the scales. So it can often be very critical in its gaze, but it's also ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty. So Libra is very much about friendships and relationships in general, family, romantic partnerships. And it's that ability to connect in a way that's positive for everyone involved. So that immediately kind of turns the focus outside of yourself, and you'll be interested in how you can interact with other people and how you can do things as a group and as a team. And those kind of things will feel easy. So if you're an introvert, Monday and Tuesday, I would say, they're really good days to kind of do teamwork or group stuff. And if you usually avoid that, I would say, really love it on Monday and Tuesday. The Libra moon squares Pluto in Capricorn. So Pluto's transformation and change in Capricorn. It's I want to change something in my practical circumstances or in my work, and I have control over that. It quincunxes Jupiter in Pisces. So that's really nice here at the beginning of the week because it kind of gives you a sense of what could be. And combined with that, it's like if I roll up my sleeves and if I do the work, then I can expand into whatever area I want. So it's again, very much the ball is in my court. I can change things if they don't suit me. The moon goes into Scorpio at 6:16 in the evening. And the moon in Scorpio now takes a dive into the water. And it's like, okay, what about my feelings? How do I really feel? Mercury in Sagittarius is very different to that. Mercury in Sagittarius says, where's my next adventure and what feels fun and exciting? And it conjuncts Venus in Sagittarius. So that combo of the moon in Scorpio, deep feelings, and really kind of, I don't want to say bottom of the barrel because it's not, it's getting to the depths of your emotion. And that's not always super comfortable. So, like if someone touches a nerve and you suddenly emotionally, you're like, oh, wow, that really, it's not always the easiest. But with Mercury in Sagittarius and Venus in Sagittarius, I feel what's really going to excite you is a sense of adventure or a sense of something new. So a new relationship, a new place, a new circumstance, something that I can look forward to. So overall on Monday, I feel with this combination, there's a potential new addition in your life, either in your working life or in your social circle, like a new colleague or something. It's someone who comes into your life and it's a new kind of energy, it's a new dynamic. If that doesn't happen, overall, I think that's the gist of the day where something in your relationships does change or there's the potential for change. So if there's not a new person suddenly appearing, I think that you may notice that someone may be going through some sort of life event or they have some news or the vibe between you is different. But ultimately, it's a change that's going to be welcome in some way. So either you can be really happy for someone's achievement that you weren't aware of and that they tell you about, or it's something like that. It's a new positive thing that comes on and affects the whole group if there is one. Excuse me. There's also great potential to have like a significant emotional experience. So try and schedule something that you enjoy and ideally that involves other people in some way, because that's where I think the positive emotions come from, either other people or falling in love with a place or something that you can connect with. Tuesday, the 22nd of November, we've got the sun going into Sagittarius at 9:20 in the morning. So that bodes well in the sense that it joins Mercury in Sagittarius and Venus in Sagittarius. We're in Sagittarius season here. I love Sagittarius because it's so self-contained. I always mention this, but I just love the image of it. Sagittarius is a fire sign, but it's the only fire sign because astrology is based on the northern hemisphere and the seasons. that exists in the middle of winter, right? So it's this inner fire that you can always that you have control over. It's like, what am I passionate about? It's not fire in the world, like flowers opening up and the beach and sunshine. It's really this inner fire, and that's so much more interesting to me because it seems much more consistent. It exists within you, right? As the idea of the element, so you have control over it. So with the sun now going into Sagittarius in the morning, I feel you really embody that. The sun is really what you're striving towards identity-wise, what makes you happy in the moment. So giving yourself the opportunity to explore different things and the new, and to educate yourself and to travel. I mean, obviously, if you can, to meet new people, to kind of open yourself up to new experiences, anything that broadens your horizon, yes, that'll feel good. The Scorpio moon opposes Uranus in Taurus, so you're less into a lack of control and you prefer to be in control. It squares Saturn in Aquarius and quincunxes Mars in Gemini and Chiron in Aries. So there may be some conflict between what I as an individual want and what the group wants. It's a little bit more challenging than the day before, which was like, let's all sit down and brainstorm together. But overall on Tuesday, I think there's more upbeat energy coming in via the sun going into Sagittarius. And that's really where I feel the sense of optimism comes from. So the future looks bright. You seem to have lots of different options. It's all systems go. Trust your feelings. And also, if you hear something, if you overhear something, or if you read something in particular, like a job ad, or you read something in a novel and it's really inspiring and applicable to your current situation, then pay attention to that, especially if there's an opportunity involved. Like if it is a job advert, something like that, it could really pay off. So just kind of, if something like that appears and it's a really great opportunity, what I'm saying is it's not a coincidence that it's appeared on Tuesday. If it does show up, then pay attention because you'll get something really good out of that. Wednesday, the 23rd of November, we've got the moon in Scorpio. It forms a trine with Jupiter in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces. So we've got all water here. The moon in Scorpio, deep feelings or emotional clarity and intelligence, really. Intuition, the ability to heal or to put yourself into someone else's position. Jupiter in Pisces is the idea of what could be, like the best case scenario is like right there. And Neptune in Pisces is how do I use my feelings to navigate my life, or what does my inner world want me to do in this situation? So Wednesday is very interesting because you really are now in the land of your feelings, of what's happening to you on a soul level, and there's like a sense of communion between you and your inner self. So again, if you find it difficult sometimes to say this is how I feel, or to get a sense of yourself or a clear view of yourself, that can often be very challenging, Like if you're on your own and you're just by yourself all the time, you can get a skewed view of yourself. And then when you're around other people, you see it totally differently and it's so obvious and so clear. So it's very interesting because even though I just mentioned that other people can often be very helpful in helping us understand things about ourselves from a different perspective, here you've got total access to your perspective. So first of all, I want to understand what I'm experiencing and what my thoughts on this are. And then if I'm not satisfied, I can do something about them. But first of all, it's understanding the self. The Scorpio moon quincunxes Mars in Gemini and sextiles Pluto in Capricorn. So that creates a sense of urgency and a sense of I want to realize my ideas as quickly as possible. As Carrie Fisher used to say, instant gratification takes too long. It's that kind of vibe. It's like, I wanted what I wanted yesterday, okay? Not like in 5 minutes. Way too long. The moon then goes into Sagittarius, woohoo, at 9:16 in the morning. So we're coming out of the kind of water now and we're hitting the solid ground. And it's rather than kind of assess what's going on here, I want to get out of here and see what's happening over there. The Sagittarius moon then conjuncts the sun in Sagittarius. Obviously, those two are friends. And this is when we have a new moon. So I'll make a separate video on that. A new moon always, the moon goes dark during the new moon, right? It conjuncts the sun and it kind of recharges its batteries and it goes inward. So it echoes that sentiment. It's pulling in lots and lots of energy here because it's trying to gather itself for the next 28-day period. So it's pulling in Sagittarius energy. So if you have a new moon in your birth chart, it gives you the energy of the pioneer, the person who thinks independently and does something on their own, right? With this, on Wednesday, all this Sagittarius energy being pulled in, it's not just a pioneering vibe. It's like, I do this on my own and I want to pioneer, plus I want to explore and do, it's pioneered squared. It's the desire to do something on your own. It's kind of like the explorer spirit. It's not something that someone can give to you. It's not like I can learn from your mistakes. I have to have my own experience. That's what becomes very important. So on the one hand, the focus turns inward in the morning via the Scorpio moon, and you become very interested in your inner world. Plus, you can really understand what's going on for you. So that's important. Looking at that and being willing to engage with your own feelings, it may reveal some sort of brilliant creative idea or some brilliant ideas about your practical circumstances and how you can change those or get creative with them and implement them so that you have a better outcome at the end of it. So it's super, I think, on Wednesday because it's that inner understanding, and then coupled with the Sagittarius, let's go off and do it, is like, I mean, no one can accuse you of being lazy or thoughtless or uninterested or not hardworking. You're doing all of those things. It's amazing. Thursday, the 24th, I don't even want to leave that day. It's that good. Thursday, the 24th of November, we've got Jupiter going direct at 2 minutes past 12 in the morning, and it stays direct until September 2023. Jupiter is the lucky planet of expansion, growth, good fortune, and it rules Sagittarius in the traditional zodiac, right? So you can see the connection. Sagittarius is all about, I want to go on adventures and broaden my horizons. Jupiter fundamentally supports that and says, if you do expand your life, if you do make things bigger and explore, that's where the good luck resides. When a planet is going direct, it appears to be going forwards. When it's retrograde, it looks like it's going back, right? And when it's direct, it means that the good luck in this case, because it's Jupiter, it's much more likely to come from your external environment than it is to come from within. So what I was saying about Wednesday, having this amazing insight into yourself, it's almost like a last hurrah before Jupiter goes direct the next day. So if I'm saying that the external environment then provides greater opportunities, where we in November, so until for the next 11 months, what am I saying? I'm saying that with it going direct for the next 11 months, oh yes, so the opportunities are out there, right? Plus you have a much greater understanding of what is it that I want. So the combination of that really does indicate that taking action based on the insights you gain on Wednesday the 23rd will really help you, basically, in a nutshell. The Sagittarius moon conjuncts Venus and Mercury in Sagittarius. So the adventuring spirit continues, and it's a really nice start to Jupiter going direct, having all this energy in the sign that Jupiter rules. It opposes Mars in Gemini, trines Chiron in Aries, quincunxes Uranus in Taurus, and sextiles Saturn in Aquarius. So there's a lot going on. So I'd much rather experience than talk about my experience. This is important for me to do. I'm willing to put up with chaos or nonsense that I have to endure along the way. But what I really don't want is I don't want to feel stuck. I don't want to be told. I don't want to feel like I have few options. That goes very much against the grain, because this is all about understanding yourself and then choosing what is best for you. So anything that limits you in that sense isn't going to feel good. Mercury in Sagittarius trines Chiron in Aries. So it's like, how do I make my life bigger, basically? So Thursday is interesting because the shift in focus with Jupiter going direct, you'll start to notice more good things in your life, which again makes you more positive. Obviously, if there's more chance for success, then you're going to feel more willing to engage with that. If everything is doom and gloom, then it's like, why bother? So that immediately lifts things. There is an overall sense of optimism and even a sense of being untouchable. So it can be too much of a good thing. Jupiter, because it's expansion and growth, if you take it too far, it can be excessive. It can be like addiction. So the confidence and everything is great, but then, for instance, if you let's say you apply that if you're in a casino, it doesn't really work. So, oh yeah, I'm playing blackjack. Of course I'm going to win. I mean, I'm here, so of course everything is going to go well. And then you put all the money down on blackjack and things don't turn out exactly like that. With that said, though, overall, I think being somewhat overconfident and looking out for not taking it too far is better than being really underconfident and having to watch out for completely withdrawing. So, as far as that's concerned, just watch out for excesses on Thursday. Friday, the 25th of November, we've got the moon in Sagittarius still, and that opposes Mars in Gemini. Which is a conflict, I would say, because the Sagittarius moon says, let's go, let's explore. The moon, not the moon, Mars in Gemini says, well, let's stand still for a second and look at the options, and then let's also kind of talk about it and discuss it and get other people's idea. There's a clash in momentum, it feels. The Sagittarius moon squares Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces. So you're really dreaming the dream here. You're like, oh my God, life is so amazing and interesting. I can do whatever. So if your imagination is so fired, then please just allow yourself free reign. Again, I think having anything or anyone cramp your style this week, that's the thing to avoid. You're not always massively inspired. So if you're really feeling it and life and yourself, then go for it. Mercury in Sagittarius trines Chiron in Aries. I must explore and do my own thing for my own mental well-being. It feels almost that strong. The moon goes into Capricorn at 10:18 in the evening. So reason returns a little bit. Capricorn is an amazing sign. I love Capricorn. People are grounded, diligent. You can trust Capricorn. But it is ruled by Saturn. So sometimes there's an over reliance on security is absolutely everything, and having a routine and structure. So it kind of lands a little bit coming out of Sagittarius. Venus, though, is still in Sagittarius and it trines Chiron in Aries. And the moon only changes signs very late in the evening. So overall, I think most of the day you're going to feel like I have to get going, like a sense of what's next, and not being particularly grounded. I also think with the opposition of the Gemini Sagittarius that you may find it a bit difficult to focus, and particularly stopping your mind from wandering. I think you're kind of focused, then you wander off, then you go back, then you wander off. That being pushed and pulled all day, usually it feels mostly irritating to people. Whereas what I think will work very nicely is if you have some sort of practical concern, looking at brainstorming around a specific to ground you and to hold your focus, that'll be very productive. So I think overall on Friday, to avoid feelings of irritability, it's important to do something that makes you feel balanced in yourself. So some stuff that you want to work on and that makes you feel productive. And then at the end of that, once you've finished the job, reward yourself for it as a kind of personal thank you to the self. So it is a Friday. It's a good day to go out, work all day, go out in the evening. That kind of structure fits perfectly. Saturday, the 26th of November, we've got the Capricorn moon now forming a square in Chiron in Aries. So this is very different now, and it's weird because it's the weekend, it's Saturday, so it's like, hey, listen, you need to buckle down and get organized. Really, enough fun, get organized. It trines Uranus and Taurus, so there's a reason behind it. It says, get organized to avoid chaos and to get a handle on it. You don't want to be an open-faced sandwich, just ready for anything or having to put up with anything. And it quincunxes Mars and Gemini. So there's a sense of anticipation. There's a sense of, I need to kind of get everything settled because something's coming up here that feels difficult. So on Saturday, the main thing is you'll want to get organized to create the sense of security. And to have everything squared off. Again, I think the underlying cause is anxiety that things are out of control or that you're not being heard, you're being ignored in a situation. So if possible, avoid those kind of things, situations that trigger that. If you feel that, everything is too circusy here, I can't deal with it, or everyone's ignoring me, no one's listening to what I say. Those are the two no-nos of the day to avoid, because that can really suck up your time and energy. So try and stay away from that. And don't overdo it on the organization, because it comes from a place of, oh, I have to do this in order to avoid something dreadful happening on the other side of it. It just sets up a whole dynamic of like, oh, I'm working for a bad outcome here. So I think it's important to wear this loosely a bit, to get a bit done and to borrow that from the day before and to say, okay, I'll be productive, but then also I'm going to have a good time here. I'm not just going to hammer myself all day long. Sunday, the 27th of November, we got the Capricorn moon forming a conjunction with Pluto in Capricorn. So that kind of shifts, it makes you less rigid because Pluto is transformation and change. Sextiles Neptune in Pisces, I dream, therefore I am. And Jupiter in Pisces. So my dreams bring me good luck. Hello, I need to listen. And it quincunxes Mars in Gemini. So this is nice. This is the best day so far this week for writers, for creative people who want to express their feelings and ideas. Mercury in Sagittarius quincunxes Uranus and Taurus. Ooh, that's interesting. That's kind of like, ooh, I want to experience some chaos and something exciting. The moon enters Aquarius at 11:07 p.m. So this feels weird to me now because you're really hard working still. It's the weekend. You're goal oriented, but then that Mercury in Sag and the quincunx to Uranus and Taurus, it's almost like, you know, when you're like in a job and you get that weird sense of, I hope I get fired so I can get out of this, but there's something preventing you from quitting, you know? That kind of weird limbo space where you have total control. You can't just say, do you know what, here's my notice, but somehow you can't do it. And then yeah, it's weird. So that's what I'm getting here. So it's almost like I want to be so hardworking and productive, almost so I can create a problem for myself, or almost so I can like discover something which is going to annoy me. It's really kind of, I feel like there's something in you which is just waiting for like a problem, which is odd. I think with all the Aquarius stuff coming in at the end of the day, you may want to get ahead of this and allow yourself to make plans for the future, or if you have a little bit of time during the day, to read something you enjoy or to study something that's educational. Because I think on Sunday, if you avoid that kind of weird thing that I just mentioned, you'll be able to you'll be able to gain great insights into whatever you're working on or whatever your path is, whatever is occupying your interest at the moment. You'll get some great new ideas. So don't, a lot of people feel proud of themselves if they're able to just really like, you know, hammer it and work hard and just plow away at something. But it's almost on the weekend, the sense I'm getting is like you're plowing in the wrong direction almost. So, you know, if it's useful to you, listen, but please play this by ear, because I'm not saying just kind of like be totally irresponsible at the weekend and do nothing. But I'm saying that if you find yourself obsessing or overly like focused on something, it may be a distraction and it may lead you down the wrong path altogether. So just kind of check in with yourself on that. That's what I mean. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I get for this week. I hope you have a wonderful time. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. Oh, and also I'll post the video on the moon on tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow. So watch this space. So if you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via the website, gregoryscott.com. Click on the front page, scroll down a bit until you get to a button that says book your reading. Click on that to audio reading with me. I use astrology in my personal readings. I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth to draw up your chart, which is like a wheel with 12 houses in it and then the planets. And by analyzing that, I can really get a great sense of your life purpose, relationships, what's kind of destined, and where you have choice and what your strengths are that you can work with to kind of transform things. So it's amazing because it shows you what naturally is and what could be. So if you're interested in understanding yourself better via your chart, or if you want to have a look at what's coming up in future or which places are good to live, I use astrocartography for that, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing week here, and I'll speak to you for the daily tarot readings and the video on the new moon. And have a wonderful week. All the best. Take care.